Hey, are you thinking about moving to the Middle Georgia area, but you're not quite sure what it's going to cost you or if you can afford it? That's okay. In this video, I'm going to go over everything you need to know to make sure you are prepared for what it's going to cost to move to the Middle Georgia area. Hey guys, Trey here, living in Middle Georgia, your go-to real estate experts here in the Middle Georgia area. Hey, today we're just going to talk a little bit about what it's going to cost to live here in the Middle Georgia area, what you'll be looking at whenever you do decide to buy a home and move to this area. So we're just going to dive right in, get going, and the first thing I'm going to talk about is going to be the housing prices. Now, I know we've talked about this in other videos, but I have to add this in here just so it's all in one place. You get the idea. So listen, the average home price here in the Middle Georgia area is going to be right around $250,000. Now, obviously, it's going to depend on what you are looking for, how big of a home that you want, what amenities you want, does it have an HOA? So let's just break this down real quick. So moving into a home, let's just say, you're using a FHA loan, that's going to be 3.5% down. Then you're going to have your closing costs on top of that. So what I typically do is I will take into account probably about 3 or 4% of the purchase price for your closing costs. Now, sometimes we can get the seller to pay these for you, sometimes we can't. So I always tell people, be prepared to pay that, but if we can get them to pay some of it, then perfect. That's some cash that you can keep in your pocket and you don't have to spend. So as far as utilities and stuff like that, you're going to be looking at, on average, I would say right around $200. I have a 5-bedroom home, probably around 2,900 square feet, and my electricity bill runs anywhere from $150 to $200 a month. So I don't think that's too bad. Now, let me just say this. We're living in a time that, let's face it, everything is more expensive than it should be. Okay, so hopefully in the next few years, it starts to kind of go down and things will get back to where they need to be. So in the grand scheme of things, I don't think $200 a month or even $250 a month right now would be too bad for an electricity bill with myself, my wife, 2 kids, and all that good stuff. So I don't think that's going to be too bad on you. Now, as far as internet and cable, I don't really do internet. I don't really do the cable. We stream everything. So we have internet. It runs me probably about $90 a month, I believe. So, and that's with Cox for the highest speed that you can get. So I don't think that's bad either. So like I said, everything's more expensive than it should be. It's probably pretty typical across the board, across the country. Now, I will say some cities may be more expensive than others. But right now, I know I can't go to the grocery store without spending at least $50, whether I get 3 things or I get 10 things. It's going to cost me $50 every time I go to the grocery store. So, but I think it's like that all over the country. I'm sure it's worse in some places than it is here. So I think in general, here in Middle Georgia, I don't think we have it that bad. I'm going to move on to education. So you have a choice of public school or you can go private school. Now, the private schools around here range, anywhere from a few $1,000s a month to it can get pretty expensive. Okay, so I think a couple of them are like $10,000 or $12,000 a year, so $1,000 a month. And then you can get all the way up to $3,000 a month at some of these schools. So it really just depends on what your budget is, where you're living, and what school you're trying to get them to. And then entertainment, we have a couple of places. Most of it is geared towards family here, at least in the Warner Robins area is concerned. Now you get up into Macon, you've got some nightlife, some bars, and other kind of stuff that you can do. But we do have Rigby's Entertainment Center here, which is pretty cool. They have a water park. They've got go-karts. They've got putt-putt. They've got an arcade, a bowling alley, a skating rink, an arcade, laser tag, all kinds of stuff. And you can actually buy like a season pass. So I think it's $150 or something, and you can go to the water park as many times as you want. They give you a couple buddy passes. So if you have kids, that's a great place to take them and let them have some fun, and it's not going to cost you too much to do that. Now, as far as adults are concerned, my favorite thing, my biggest thing is golf. Well, golf and hunting. So as far as golf is concerned, there's several golf courses. They're not very expensive. I think the most expensive one is going to be like $70 around, and really you're probably going to spend more like 40 or 50. So not too bad. I've played some that are like $400 around. So in the grand scheme of things, I don't think that's too bad. We have several, there's like a golf pub where you can go and do it virtually. They've got all the lanes that you can play, you know, have some drinks and do that kind of stuff. It is kind of expensive. I think it's like $60 an hour if you go there to play. And then there are a lot of other things for kids and families to do. So one thing that doesn't cost money that's really cool, in my opinion, is the Museum of Aviation. You can go take a look at the airplanes, walk around, do whatever you want to. It's all free, except for, you know, the virtual reality plane rides and stuff that they have that you can do, which is also really cool. So keep that in mind. A lot of things to do: pickleball courts, playgrounds, all kinds of stuff. So you don't have to spend money to go and do stuff around here, which is something that I like, because we can take the kids to the park or take them to play some pickleball or basketball or whatever and not have to spend any money. So, and I'm sure there's places like that all over the place. So now the next thing I'm going to talk about is going to be the taxes. I know nobody wants to ever talk about the taxes, right? Now, let me say this. I have clients that come from all over the country, and when I hear what they were paying for their property tax in other places, I can't really complain about mine, but I do feel for the area, mine are starting to get a little high, because every year it seems like they just go up and up and up and up. And when I first bought my house, I think I was right around, I want to say $3,200 a year. But over the last 3 years, I've gotten up to, we're at like $4,600 a year at this point. So it's taxes. You know, the man's going to get his money one way or another. So it's just something that we have to deal with. But you do need to take that into account whenever you're looking for a home. That is going to be a couple $100 a month that you're going to have to spend. That it will be rolled into your loan if you get escrow accounts. So, you know, they'll take care of your principal, your insurance, your taxes, all that will be rolled into your mortgage payment. So as long as you're good with that payment that you get whenever you are actually buying the home, then you're going to be fine. You're not going to have to worry about paying it outside of that. I think that's really all you're going to need to know as far as what it's going to cost you to move here. Now, obviously, you have moving expenses, whether you pay somebody to move your stuff or you're going to pack up a U-Haul yourself. Now, one thing I did when I moved is a pod. So I think it was $250 a month. We got two of them. We had them park them outside in our driveway, and over the span of 3 weeks, we just slowly kind of packed them and loaded them up. And then once closing day got here, boom, everything was in the pods. We had them pick them up, drop them off at our new house on the day we closed, and then we just unpacked them whenever we got here after we closed. So if you don't want to deal with a U-Haul and having to drive it and all that, then maybe pods would be a good option for you. It worked out really well for us. I think that's about it, though. If you have any questions, if you want to know something specific, what it's going to cost you, please feel free to reach out, drop a comment. And hey, make sure you like and subscribe so you can get all of our videos whenever we come out with new ones on anything real estate in the Middle Georgia area. Hey, I hope you guys have a great day, and we will see you on the next one.